So I was in a live earlier today, and somebody was making some really wild claims about what happened with Trump's latest appearance at an appeal for his fraud case out of New York. Now, I was aware of the hearing that happened on September 26th, but this guy was saying that it happened this week, and that the judge threatened the attorneys with sanctions and said it was election interference, and they had to go and find cases. And I'm like, I watched the hearing, and none of that happened. So I was really, really curious where that information was coming from. And my good friend and paralegal Cass, I think she found the source.
So the Trump fraud case went before the appellate court this week, and it went so badly for the Democrat lawyers that by the end of it, their closing arguments was just them begging to not get sanctioned.
That didn't happen.
And the lawyers spent like 2 hours trying to find one little instance where it happened. And then they took another like 6 hours on that one.
No, the entire hearing was like 45 minutes. You could watch it all. It's all online. Where were these 2 and 6 hour recesses? That didn't happen.
And then by the time they were done, the judges were like, I don't even know if this is a case that should have been brought. And they said, look, y'all might need to be sanctioned for bringing this case in a malicious manner.
That didn't happen either.
In fact, at the end of it, when they got to give their closing arguments, instead of arguing the value of their case, they actually just said at the end, we hope that the court will take into account that lawyers need to be able to bring cases like this without the threat of sanction.
Now, this did happen, but not like that. Let's take a look.
They did what they were supposed to do. They did what they had to do. To sanction them is just wrong.
No, so that's attorney Brian Isaac, who is talking about, how unjust it would be to sanction the attorneys, but he's not talking about the state of New York. No, he's talking about Trump's attorneys, because Trump's attorneys were sanctioned $7,500 apiece for filing frivolous motions, repeating arguments that had been previously prohibited from arguing in the past. And they were seeking to have those sanctions reversed by the court. Yeah, so just about every single thing said in that video is incorrect. There were no opinions issued. There were no threats about election interference. There were no threats of sanctions against the state of New York. There were no recesses for the attorneys to go find cases. And there was no opinion issued. So I would be very cautious about parroting the information that you see in this video.